Right. Hi YouTube. I just thought I would do my first ever vlogging on my dreadlock journey. Um, I've always wanted dreadlocks, so the first thing I will say is to ensure that you definitely want dreadlocks because um, obviously I'm told that you can only take them off by shaving, though I know that there's some method where you deep condition it until it's really soft and you sort of cut it to a certain length and then you have to pick at each one. But just know that it's a commitment basically, and you need to be certain that you really do want dreadlocks before you actually go through the whole process of the journey because it does test your soul and strength a bit. Um, it's only been, I would say, technically for me, it's only been 2 weeks, but I started like 4 weeks ago. I started 4 weeks ago. Um, and the way the guy, I went to the hairdressers, and the way the guy did it, like my sections are pretty much these sections now, but the way he did it is he palm rolled it. So it was the comb coil method first of all, and he palm rolled it so thin it was like a toothpick, and I didn't like it. I felt like I had like such a big head, and I felt bald, and I was like, oh my god. And then he did some retro hairstyle on me where he pinned the back upwards, and he did some loop design on the sides. And I didn't like it. I was absolutely hating it, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm not going through all this. And um, that evening, I decided to remove it. And as I was playing with the front one, I removed it completely. But because it was comb coiled, it still had that texture of it being rolled. So when I'd removed it, it sort of sprung back to the normal texture that it started off with, but it was thicker. So I really liked it, and I decided to do my whole head, and I was happy with it. So I left it at that. But then I was thinking, the parting, I don't really like it. It's too big. I don't have many dreadlocks. My hair's gonna look really weird. So I decided to section the back of my dreads. I took one dread and I basically divided it into two, and I redid the dreadlock, and I was enjoying it. I was loving it. I loved the length, the volume. But then it was like the more research I did, the more I felt like that wasn't me, and I wanted to have thicker dreads because I just personally, for me, I prefer thicker dreadlocks. So I spoke to my little sister, and I was like, oh my god, which one do you think? So we ended up having like some little debate, and we were both in agreement. Like, I knew what I wanted, but I sort of wanted to hear someone else say like, oh yeah, it does look great. And I think that's something that you'll need to take into consideration. Don't go on someone else's personal point of view because it could be different to yours. But luckily, me and my sister had the same views, and we both thought that the bigger sections and the thicker dreads would look better on me. And so we redid my whole head again, and that was like right before Christmas. So it's like nearly 2 weeks now that I've got my hair dreadlocked, and I have been natural for years now. The nice thing about my hair is that it's naturally thick. So no matter how many times my hair was relaxed, when I was younger, I'd still have really thick growth, and like it would just grow beautifully. So I love that. And then I just stopped relaxing a couple of years ago. I didn't have to do the big chop or anything like that. I didn't want to do the big chop. I just felt uncomfortable with that. So I just stopped relaxing, and my hair completely, like all the way from roots to tips, tips to roots, whichever way you look at it, was just afro. And yeah, so I loved it. And now I've been going through phases of my life, and I felt like I needed a change, and that's why I did the afro. So I would strongly suggest that when you do get your hair done, or when you do decide to get your hair journey started, do your research. Do a lot of research. Consider what methods would be best for your hair texture. Personally, I prefer the comb coil because I feel like it's easier for the dreads to take on that shape, the uniform shape. I wouldn't recommend having your hair sectioned into like triangle or diamond sections, as it would be harder for the hair to sort of take that shape again. Consider the size as well. Like, I know that my dreadlocks are going to, I don't know if you can see, my dreads are going to be thicker than this, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want a lot. I've got like about 70. I started off with like 74, and then when I sectioned it, I got like, you know, over 100, obviously, because I divided each one, and then I didn't like it, so now I'm down to 70, and I prefer it like that. As you can see back, like they've started to kind of unravel. Yeah, can you see it? I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this. Recording myself, I feel really weird, but I thought, you know, as I was watching like other people's videos and stuff, it was quite frustrating. Like I had so many questions that I wanted to ask, like, oh my goodness, how many dreads do you have on your head, about the sections, about the hair texture. I use the Jamaican mango and lime hair gel product. I find that actually quite good, because it doesn't have a build-up on my hair. Like I've used it every single day. I think I used it every single day for the first 2 weeks when I started, because I had undone it myself and I felt like it wasn't holding. So this one that I use is a daily hair gel, so that's really, really good. It's not water-based or anything like that, so make sure it's alcohol free as well. So yeah, that's what I use, and I really like it. It does hold. So what I do is when I retwist my own hair, obviously I twist it round, I put my hair dry. I don't put a lot, but once you've done like the whole head or a section of the head, you need to blow dry for like at least 20 minutes so that it sort of sets and holds it. So that's probably the anal part that is really frustrating, the fact that I have to sit there with a blow dryer. I wish I had one of them hat things that I could just put on and, you know, it just sets it. But yeah, one thing I would definitely recommend is don't compare your dreads to anyone else's, as it will just either motivate you or demotivate. No, you want it to motivate you, but not to an extent where you, if it's not exactly like the person that you've seen it, you get demotivated, if that makes sense. Because that's what I found myself doing. I've got a friend that's got dreadlocks and I think they're absolutely amazing. And I thought, oh my goodness, that won't look good on me. But when I tried it and I finally got the style that I wanted, it does. And you know, like if people, I've been told, oh my goodness, it does look good, and other people are like, okay, I never thought, you know, short hair would suit me because I'm always in braids. This is another reason why I thought, you know, dreadlocks would suit me, is because I was always in braids, like literally braids all the way down to my ass. And I was comfortable in that. Like I had afro hair, like when I'd remove my braids and stuff, but I was always comfortable in braids. I don't know why, but yeah, this is officially 2 weeks. Don't know if you can see. Some of them are lumpy, and I think this is actually these are actually thinner than what they were yesterday and like a week before and the week before that, because when I had redone my braids, I didn't sort of pin it down, which is what they did at the hair salon for me, and that's what I forgot to do, and I didn't realize that was quite an important step in sort of like getting the, how do I say, the body of my dreadlocks. So last night I just thought, oh my goodness, I can't be dealing with all this frizz, because there was a lot of frizz, and I watched a hair journey video where this girl basically managed to retwist and remove the frizz, but without clipping and pinning down and stuff. But I couldn't be doing that. I think that's because her dreadlocks were much more mature, and she didn't really recommend that for only mature hair, and so I thought it would work on mine, but because mine are just baby dreadlocks and they're just starting off, it didn't really work. So what I did is, in the back, I sort of braided it like sort of cornrow style, and I pinned it down in the front. I'd retwist, twist, I'd take another one, I'd pull it, and then I'd twist them and pin them back, so that at night when I did that throughout my whole head, so that at night when I slept, it just stayed down, and it stayed, you know, it sort of kept the length to a certain extent. When you first get your hair dreadlocked, it will shrink. Just know that's like, if there's nothing you can do about it, it will shrink. So just accept it. You will end up getting an awkward phase. Like your hair will start off nice and, and straight, but then within the day or the next 2 days or whatever, you'll have really awkward ones that sort of stick out like that one. I don't know if you can see it. And there's nothing really you can do about it. I think after a week or two, you know, they'll fall into place. I quite like the length that I started my hair in, because they sort of, the weight of my hair, you know, helps my dreadlocks sort of drop. Some people's are shorter, so like if mine were that short, they'd be sticking out like all over the place. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. But obviously, like, you can start your dreadlocks at any length. Make sure you do your research. Check the oils that you use that are not, you know, they do not have alcohol, or, you know, they're water soluble or whatever. Make sure you know how many you want to get on your head. Like, I chose the thick ones because I feel like thick braids, dreadlocks capture more moisture when you put your hair food in, so they're more likely to, I don't know, be healthier. For me personally, they're more likely to be healthier, whereas the really thin dreads also did snap easily if they weren't that healthy. So that's why I chose them, and I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. I don't know about in terms of like style limitations, if because they're thicker you won't be able to do as intricate and intimate styles, but I'm not bothered about that. Like, I've seen some hairstyles that I like I'll get it done. I'll work it. So yeah, I think I'll one thing, I think the most important thing is patience. Like, there's been so many times where I think, oh my god, it's not going to lock, it's not going to get to that stage. But it will. It has already started locking, and it's only been 2 weeks. My hair, I've been told by so many people, like, I'm quite lucky because it takes people ages for theirs to lock to the level that mine has got to. So yeah, that's sort of given me a little bit of a motivation boost. Yeah, just be patient, embrace your hair journey, document it. I'd love to see people post pictures and videos as well. Let it be you. You know, if you really want to get them, make sure you do your research. I know I'm repeating this so many times, but I think that's like the most important thing. Like, I did my research, but I don't think I did enough. And even now, I'm still doing my research. Like, I'm still looking for new ways to sort of take care of my hair, like the frizz, and, you know, especially my baby hairs and my sections. Like, you can't really see my sections properly, and my hair grows really fast. Like, and I've got sideburns as well. I quite like my sideburns actually. So my hair grows really fast, so I always need to be like retwisting. But yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments below. I do apologize that it's a really lengthy video, and I'm sorry if you found it really pointless, but I just like documenting things. So yes, viva 2 weeks of dreadlock journey. Bye.